Right, so here we are at attempt number 1 of the reading vlog tag. We have our budgies in the background chatting away as we chat. Started filming on Friday and it was a very wet and humid day, and a lot of snails had come out on the wall beside my bus stop. And some of them are quite pretty. Actually, see that one there? Isn't that one lovely? Look at the colours. Just as well, the budgies and the wild birds weren't too close to them because I think they would have been eaten. So the tag is originated by Doris at Aldi Books, and this is my channel, MH Books. Okay. And I forgot to say that I would actually like to tag some people for once. You will be tagged during the course of this video, but I haven't mentioned you. I meant to. You're tagged. The vlog tag from Doris and Aldi Books. Now I was going to do this next week, but I thought I'd have a practice run this week, doing all her tag things. So the tag questions will be down below. The idea of doing this is that there's certain things, rather than doing a tag video and answer questions, there's certain things you include in a vlog. So I'm going to do a vlog next week when I'm on holidays in London, Yorkshire and York. York is in Yorkshire, but anyway. And I hope to be an author as well, if I'm not too shy to talk to him. But meanwhile, I thought I'd practice it by doing a vlog today and maybe upload it and time it for when I'm away. So there's something going up in the channel. So this is me trying. So what you just saw was footage. I'm just leaving the budgies in vlog style. We saw this footage of me running home on a Friday because I finished about an hour earlier than normal from work. I'm picking up some books on the way home because before I go to Friday night dinner. Okay, this is why I do not film book hauls, because I get so many books I cannot possibly keep them for even 2 weeks in this apartment. There's too many. They have to be put away. So this is what I got today: 4 books from charity bookshops, which you saw. You saw the charity bookshops, not me buying the books. I got 1 book from the independent bookstore. I forgot to actually film in there. I was too excited about picking up my book. So, from the charity bookshops, we got Come Here To Me Now. Come Here To Me Now, and I'll tell you something. That's a Dublin expression. This is just a Dublin's other history. It's from a blog written by 3 people, and they just tell interesting facts like the oldest graffiti and things in Dublin, alternatives to the small stories that make life interesting. So I haven't read it obviously yet. Looking forward to trying it. Might try that in non-fiction November, but one thing I definitely will be picking up in non-fiction November is a nature book, Weeds. So Richard Mabey, Weeds. And he's written a book on weeds, and the importance of weeds throughout history. Weeds are in the eye of the beholder. When I studied botany, a weed was defined as a plant growing voraciously in a place you didn't want it to grow. I mean, it was in a place you did want it to grow. Growing voraciously is a good idea. So they talk about everything they're saying, that down to burdock was inspiration for Velcro, cow parsley became fashionable adornment for spring weddings. So seemingly it's extremely well written from what I could see in the reviews and Goodreads, and I'm thinking of picking this one up for Non-Fiction November. Doing this quick because this is a vlog, and Dara said the whole book said be quick. I don't know if she said to do a haul in it, but never mind. This is a book I've already read before, 1Q84. I've read it on audio though. I haven't got a hard copy. This is book 1 to 2. I still have to pick up book 3, but it's such a clean copy. Look at it. It's gorgeous. It's really nice. So, Murakami. 1Q84 is one of my favorites. My favorite one is still Kafka on the Shore though. It's definitely my favorite Murakami. And then, because I saw a tweet, and I really can't remember who it is. I'm really sorry. If it was you, can you tell me? Asking for genre books for women in Translation Month. And I seen this, and the tweet was still in my head. And this is a fantasy novel by Christelle Dabos, translated by Hildegard Searle, which is a fantasy book. It's one of 4. I haven't picked it up before now because, people have been a bit dodgy whether they like this or not. So they've been a little bit disappointed in it. But I still have it in my want to read. And it is a genre book. Don't think I will be reading it this Women in Women in Translation. I used to work for an organisation called Women in Technology, and they both use the WIT as a shortening. So it's I say Women in Technology when I mean Women in Translation. I don't think I'm going to be doing it this month because I have those books picked, but I do read a lot of translated works anyway, so I will be picking it up. And there it is, if somebody wants to try out some genre, fantasy fiction, rather than literary fiction for the month. And last but not least, A Brilliant Void. This is a collection. This is one I picked up from the Gooder Bookshop. It's Tramp Press. It is a collection of Irish science fiction stories, more than half female as it happens, from 1890 something or other, 1837 to 1960. Science fiction stories, written by Irish authors, curated by Jack Fennell, who did his PhD in it, who was interested in finding stories of that genre, overlooked because Irish literary fiction is very literary fiction, so they don't really go in for genre fiction. So looking for science fiction written by Irish authors, and specifically looking for ones written by female authors. And he writes in his introduction, because I read it on the bus, that he couldn't was finding it hard to find science fiction written by women. Then he looked under the tag Gothic and he emptied it all out, and there was a ton of science fiction. Women were classified as not writing it as a genre, even though they were, which is interesting. So he actually ends up a slightly more female than male in his collection. So I am looking forward to this. I will be reading some more short stories soon. All right, this is me closing on this bit. Let's see what we put in next. Okay, so I'm tagging Eva Strange first, as she just subscribed as we were filming this. So my favourite Friday reads is...
Hello BookTube, it's Louise the Big Head Bookworm. Lovely to see you.
I like that she always gives laundry stories and does casual chats on her Friday reads. What's your favourite Friday reads? On Saturday morning, I just stopped at bookmark. One of the things for this blog, as far as I remember, was to do some type of chore thing. So what I have to do today is I have to go to the local library, pick up a book that's going to be appearing on my TBR for the horror section of August. I have to go into the city centre, order a book that's going to appear at my Women in Translation section. It's not available yet, so I want to order it from the Gutter Bookshop. And in between, I have to bring this book back. So that's back to the library, not to the Gutter Bookshop. Cycle of the Werewolf, which was excluded from my Friday reads accidentally. Just finished it today. Have counted my time because it is 24 and 48 readathon this weekend. So I'm just going to count how much time I spend reading. I'm not actually so much as entering a readathon as a competition in a way, I suppose. I just want to see how much I do actually read while being really busy. I also have another thing that I have to do in the city centre as well as order the book. It's just I could have ordered that book on Monday, but I have something to do, which is city centre located. So finished reading Cycle of the Werewolf. It's written in, it's an illustrated novel by Bernie Wrightson as well as Stephen King, obviously, just for the illustrations. It starts off with each month, there's the 12 months of the year, so that's January. It shows you, I'm only showing the first one, so it's not too much of a spoiler. There's a werewolf. So it has a colour picture and then the closing scene in black and white, and then you can see it's February. This is a succinct version of Stephen King. You have all the themes you find in his big novels. You have the little kid. It's only a small novella really, but so you don't have as many kids that you would have in something like It, which is a ginormous novel. But you have basically the little kid, who is the hero of the story. The small American town, we have vicars, local policemen, and the parents of the kids. Miss Lonely Hearts. The abusive husband and his wife. So you have all the elements we'd have in a big novel, but in a much shorter form. So it might be worthwhile if somebody wants to try out a horror from Stephen King, but doesn't want to commit to one of those really long novels. Maybe that's an idea for them. Okay, should we go to the library then? Past my bedtime, just been tagged. Section, I tag Charlie Brooke. Right, so we're finishing up on Saturday there, and we're moving on to Sunday morning. It's 10 o'clock in the morning, and everywhere in the cinema is empty. We're here to watch a horror movie, but there's no people anywhere. Well, there is in the cinema. See, nobody at the concession stand. Nobody playing games. Completely empty. On this bit here, why do they not just change the lock? And as he just recently tagged me on a horror tag, and we're talking about horror, let's tag Charles, followed by, you guessed it, more book shopping. So we're about to enter. Yes, I know it's very important. Willow would like you to know about it too. This is Chapter's Bookshop. It has, as far as I know, the biggest second-hand department in Ireland. It's definitely the biggest in Dublin. Charlie Byrne in Galway might be as big, but the two of them are fairly big. So all upstairs, and I'm going to try and show you. I'm going up the stairs so crookedly. I'm so shy about bringing this camera up. This is the idea of this vlog, is to try and get over this. Trying to show you how big upstairs is. So all upstairs is second-hand books, and all downstairs are discounted books. This bookshop gets me in a lot of trouble. A lot of trouble. It's responsible for a lot of books. Okay, let's get on. At a break here, I thought we might tag Amy at Zoe back. As you can probably tell, it's really hot in this car, so I'm going to be quick. So from the last scene, you saw me in Chapter's Bookshop, which gets me a lot of trouble to Chapter's Bookshop. So really quick. Book 30, I have about 25-ish out of 35-ish books, about 2/3 of the books so far of this series. So it was fabulous, so I got it. Gave away this series because I was going to be nice and get rid of clutter from the apartment. And 6 months later, after doing it, I went completely opposite direction. I have way too many books, and I had to give it away my Kelly Armstrong series, so I'm having to acquire it again as I see it for cheap. So it's only €1. I mean, it's second hand, but it's grand. I have it in Kindle. I probably have it in audio as well, but it doesn't count. I need to have it in hard copy. And because I'm going to be filming a tag video, and one of the questions in the tag video is So what books would you like, would you be interested in reading as a result of this? And I assume this question means you go out and buy the books. So I've gone out and bought Iris Murdoch's The Message to the Planet because it was published in 1989. And just so to make sure I'm such a completist that I've done all the questions I can think of. Went out and bought pajamas, yay. Is that a job well done? I don't know. Yeah, hopefully the next version of this video will be a little bit better. But it was fun trying it out and trying out all the different things you can film. And hopefully now this will get me more thinking about what I can film when I'm on my holidays. I shall be going to Yorkshire, to York City, so Yorkshire to Deershed Music Festival, and there will be a writer's tent. To York City for a couple of days. There are bookshops, and then London because I left it too late to book Edinburgh and it was too expensive because of the festival. So London, which has quite a few bookshops,
trying this talking
which I've
over
been
myself.
to before, but I've not been to Gage.
So
before, but I do want to
I'm
get
also
my hands on a
tagging
copy
Fun
of,
Size Steffi.
The
I
Dancing Up the
think I
Dance.
have
Is that the name of it?
everybody
If
who
it isn't,
commented
I'll
on my last
put it
video.
on.
Did you
I'm
work
too
out
hot.
how I worked this out?
This is me wrapping up.
All
There might be a
right.
couple of things
Thanks for
after
watching.
this, but I
I
don't
hope you
wanna
had a
be
good
talking
time. It was funner than I thought to put this together.
Bye.
Because I have great English, by the way. Love my
And please
English.
do this
See
tag.
yous.
So I tagged you or no. Bye. Okay. This is me doing probably the last bit of the tag. I may show you me filming some, stuff on film. Except it's not film, it's on digital. That's one of the things I had to do, is make it fluff.